It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. Never a truer word was ever spoken today. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar, today we're at the fabulous Wayfair on Ferret Street, which is just down from Napoleon Avenue and across from the European Wax Centre. I don't know if you're familiar with the European Wax Centre, ladies, but it's something that you need to know about. Kitty DeLitter is here. Hello, Kitty.
Yeah, hey, Grant.
How are you doing? I'm
baby?
good. You have to talk into this microphone.
Oh, excuse me. That's that better?
There you go.
Cheers, darling. Glad to be here.
How are you doing? Kitty DeLitter is actually, or sometimes known as Kevin Thomas, apparently, is your given name. Do you call that your government name?
My government name.
Your government name. Do you
paperwork
use that?
name.
Your paperwork name. So
on occasion.
But Kitty DeLitter.
When I want to get paid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's your real... You normally walk around as a guy, as Kevin Thomas.
Yes.
And then on occasions like this...
You get a little extra.
You get a little...
You get a lot
dressed
extra.
up as a woman.
Yes.
So now we're recording the show in the middle of the day here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a... Is it Wednesday today?
All day.
It
yeah.
is.
And so you're dressed up as a woman walking around on the street in the broad daylight.
Yeah, we call it day drag.
Day drag.
Day drag.
Is there's a particular term for it?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot less white powder going on.
Okay, so it's a makeup thing. What about the courageous aspect of it?
Courageous aspect.
Yeah.
Girl, I mean, boy, we are in New Orleans. Every day is a reason to dress up down here.
Okay. But during the day, it seems a lot more, the people are a bit different than when you're dressed up as a woman at night.
No, I hear what
Look
you're
at
saying.
your eyebrows, eyelashes as well.
They're made out
I'm a
of
bit
feathers.
jealous of the jewelry myself.
Yeah. So, the jewelry. This is Amy Irvin, who is the executive director of the New Orleans Abortion Fund.
Yes.
And who's dressed up as a vagina.
Yes.
You look like a
the
nun.
vulva in chief.
You look like a nun, actually, from sort of a vagina order.
Well, and I'm oftentimes mistaken for a hot dog.
Really?
Yes.
The complete opposite of what she's going for.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, am I standing too close to a Lucky Dog stand? Do you not understand? This is a vagina.
Where did you purchase this beautiful vagina costume from? If you could take a look at our Facebook page at It's New Orleans or our website, itsneworleans.com, and look at the photos from the show Happy Hour, you'll see Amy dressed as a vagina, so you get the idea. But your face is... You look like a sort of either a nun or a sort of a very religious Islamic person.
I went to parochial school. I never had Sister Mary Agnes dress up like that.
You didn't?
I'm just going to have to disagree
From
with
the
you
order
on
of
that.
the order of the ovaries, it would have to be, I suppose.
No,
So
I think
it's a
that,
real vagina. It does not look like a hot dog, really.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm really going for the...
And your
It's
face
actually,
is-
and many of my friends want to correct me. It's not a vagina. It's a vulva.
It's a vulva.
Yes.
Okay.
We want to be anatomical correct.
Okay, so what is it
Grammatically, too.
What is the difference between a
struggled with
vulva and a vagina, exactly?
Don't ask me.
Kitty, you don't don't know.
I'm not an expert. All I have is duct tape to prove it otherwise.
Do you have your genitals duct taped up right now?
No, that's why I'm wearing a poofy dress today.
This
is
so
day,
you can
day
drag. So do you
Day
normally go
drag.
out with your genitals taped up?
You know, on a
Do you
good
have to
night.
shove your balls up in your body?
I usually charge extra for that.
Do you? No, I don't mean someone else's. I mean your own. Is that true? I saw that on television.
It depends on what kind of illusion you're trying to create. You know,
Right.
the female illusion trend is very big right now. I like to think I'm a boy in a dress.
You want to give the impression that I'm a boy in a dress. You
Yes.
don't want to be passed as a woman.
I'm not.
So you don't mind having
Yeah,
your genitals.
like the taxi driver was like, oh, because I caught a cab here.
You did,
I
not
caught
not
a cab
Uber.
Here. No, I caught a cab.
Why? Why are you still taking cabs?
Because I'm of the people. I'm of the
Of the
people.
what people?
I'm
Uber
supporting
drivers are people.
Listen, like radio, I'm supporting the dying industry.
You are. Did you take United?
I sure did.
Oh, I just can't stand this. I hate that company. What made you do you always take United?
No, not always.
They
But
don't show up. That's why I don't take them.
I mean, you know what? I walked up to the hotel, Pontchartrain Hotel,
Yeah.
and they came right away.
Oh, that's
the
you live
secret.
right down there.
Yeah, I live
Oh,
right across
okay.
the street
If
from
you go
it.
to a
So
hotel,
if you go to
yeah.
a nice hotel,
Right.
they'll come right away and pick you up.
So-
all right, I have it all figured out.
Okay, so what does the cab driver say when he sees that you're a guy dressed up as a woman? Do they have to mention it? Does everybody want to mention it to you?
Oh, well, they're looking for Kevin. And I immediately go into, yeah, I'm right here, man, thanks.
Oh, wow. Do that again.
Say, bro.
So you can talk like that.
I talk like that.
That's your real regular.
Not even
Come
close.
over here.
No, not even close. I talk like this all day long.
You do. This is your real speaking
The kitty voice is the real voice.
This is your real, actual, normal, everyday.
This is my catch a cab voice.
Oh, wow. So you can do that. You see, I couldn't do a woman's voice. Amy, can you do a guy's voice like that?
Hey, baby.
No, not very convincing. And look, here's the poor, unsuspecting Jay Sharp is here.
Oh, excellent.
This is going to be great.
Late arrival.
Look at this. Wait till you look at this guy's face now. Come on in.
All right.
Welcome
Jay.
to Happy Hour, Jay.
Jay, I'm glad you made it here. We couldn't wait. We had to get started because we all needed a drink. So put those headphones on. Can you do it with the hat?
I'll take some water.
You got it. Okay, now Jay, how's the
he's a
headphone
professional.
volume?
He does that real easy.
Is it too quiet or too loud?
It's great.
Oh, now
Perfect,
Jay
perfect.
has a voice.
Jay's got a
Jay's-
really beautiful singing voice as well. Wait
Yes.
till you hear this.
Why,
So this is
thank you.
Jay Sharp, who's the keyboard player and singer in a band called Waterseed,
That's right.
who are, I guess you could describe them as a sort of super slick funk band. Would you describe
Oh,
them?
wow. I love that description.
All right.
Band, yeah.
That's wait till you hear this.
Sounds like a
so
good
Jay,
time.
this is Kitty DeLitter,
Hey, Jay.
Hey.
who can also do the Kevin Thomas voice if you'd like to hear that.
Can I catch a cab?
Wow.
Pretty good, right?
That's great.
And the person dressed as a vagina is Amy Irvin, who's the
Hey,
executive
Jay.
director
Hey.
of the New Orleans Abortion Fund.
All right.
Not
So-
exactly what you envisioned for the afternoon, huh?
I'm working with it. I love it.
I was
love
wondering
the
what was
unexpected.
going to happen because how did you get held up?
There was some type of dump truck, or I don't know what it was, but
Yeah.
it stalled in the worst possible spot.
Just another afternoon driving the
Yeah,
streets of New Orleans.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you got stuck behind it.
yeah, for an
All right.
undetermined amount of time.
Well, you look great, and I love
Well,
this
thank you.
scarf and everything. Everyone, this is the best visual-looking show
I was thinking
we've ever had,
Seriously,
in
we could
however
dress
many
for
years we've been doing. Yeah. Well, it's live on Facebook. If you
Yes. Come on, Facebook friends.
you can if you
What's
listen to
up,
this
Facebook?
if you listen to this as a podcast sometime in the future, you go back to our Facebook page. It's New Orleans Facebook page. You can see this live or recorded. It won't be live. Look, they give me the script, and New Orleans is spelt wrong. How you like that? Okay,
Who's your producer?
really, Graham. Graham's not responsible for that. I'm sure that's my fault. Hey, so where do we get up to? We're talking about how fucked up United Cab is. When you ever take United Cabs, Jay?
I haven't.
Because they suck, right?
I hear things.
Right, exactly. Do you drive yourself around town always?
I drive myself around town.
And you're from here originally
I
as
am,
well.
yes.
So, do you guys know this band Waterseed?
I'm just becoming acquainted with them. I'm
Do you,
new to the
Amy?
scene. I'm new
No,
to the
but I'm
scene.
intrigued.
Yeah, they're really a super hot, tight band. Have you been around for a long time too?
Yeah, well, we were kicking around ideas for a while, and then eventually became a band, and we've been functioning as a band in this way, maybe around 6 years now.
Oh, that's solid.
That's a long time. Yeah. But you've played the Essence Fest and Jazz Fest and French Quarter Fest, and
Yeah.
and you play
Oh,
all over
so
the
you're
country.
in the whole New Orleans circuit then.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
like
you have
big
to talk
time.
into this microphone.
Into the mic.
That's
Sorry.
it, yeah.
And
Right.
what clubs do you normally play at?
We've been playing at Blue Nile on Tuesdays,
Oh, that's solid.
but sometimes we play Tipitina's,
Great.
and sometimes uptown, like Le Bon Temps, Britannia Bar. Yeah,
This guy's got the
we get
sexiest
around.
voice of all time, right?
Yeah. Pretty hot, I have to
You
say.
got, you're all too much.
So anyway, what I was getting just before you got here, Jay, I was wondering where Amy got the vagina costume from.
I was wondering that as well.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So let's go
Inquiring
back.
minds want to know.
So let's go back to that because your face is sort of where the clitoris type thing would be
Yes.
normally, right? That's the sort of look.
Yes.
Do people-
Sure.
I have to give our board member Jackie all the credit in finding these costumes and ordering the first one from a company in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And,
Of course.
Yes, of course. And she wore the first one last fall at our sex ed bingo night.
Sex ed bingo night. I have to write that down. Why weren't we invited to that? Sex ed bingo. What happens at the sex ed bingo night?
Well, we're raising money for the New Orleans Abortion Fund, and we have several rounds of bingo, all of them around sex ed trivia questions, and Probably the most popular one is around slang, sex slang. So
okay.
There's lots to learn in those rounds.
I love a rusty trombone.
Do you remember any of those questions?
No.
She tries not to.
Not very educational then.
I'm a bit nervous here, I have to say.
Bingo. You nervous? What are you drinking? Gin and tonic? You haven't hardly drunk anything.
Maybe that's the reason.
Have a couple of good
This is
sips
a
of
no
that.
judgment zone.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, so why are you wearing a vagina? Is it because you're proud of your vagina?
Yes.
Like, we should embrace vagina?
Yes. But more importantly, we should... Well, for one thing, the New Orleans Abortion Fund does a lot of legislative work, and anyone who's been following politics in the last year, but certainly more than that here in Louisiana, knows that our state legislators are hell-bent on legislating women's lady parts and restricting access to abortion care, and so we're...
Well, I'm really impressed, because normally the conversation goes pro-choice, but you're actually saying you're pro-abortion. Is that correct? Because I feel like you're using the language very positively, where it's usually used derogatory. Does that make sense?
Sure. No. We want to ensure that women have all the choices. So whether they decide to carry a pregnancy to term or use adoption services or decide to terminate a pregnancy, we want to make all the options available to women and people seeking those services. And so we have done a lot of work in the last 5 years to talk about this issue in the context of a lot of other issues like comprehensive age-appropriate sex education, economic justice, and racial justice. For instance, we are supporting a bill to ensure equal pay for women. In Louisiana, we have some of the lowest rates of equal pay.
How long has this program been going on in Louisiana then?
The New Orleans Abortion Fund has been here since 2012, and we've assisted over 800 women here locally and throughout the state in financial assistance and seeking health care that's safe and legal.
What does it mean? It means if I can't afford an abortion, you'll give me the money to get one?
That's right.
How much is an abortion?
Well, so here in New Orleans, an average first or medical abortion surgery
Well, we hope it would be medical. Is there another sort?
Yes.
Is there a psychological abortion? What's the opposite of a medical abortion?
Well, there's a medical abortion or a pill abortion, or the surgery, which is more common. But many women are choosing to use a medical abortion.
What is that exactly?
So you take a series of pills, and
really?
And
so
it's
not
sort of
actually,
like
it's not a procedure.
It's not a surgery.
Right. It's not
like
a surgical procedure.
That's correct.
Okay.
And it's done. It's basically done at home, and it's like a miscarriage or a very, very heavy period.
Okay.
So a lot of women prefer that because it is done at home and in the privacy of their home.
Well, most
with family.
people would prefer not to have a surgical procedure, given the choice. I would think, in any circumstances.
Sure, why not?
Where does Louisiana stand right now? Is this legal?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this legal?
Well,
and it is at the moment.
Well, okay, so you're saying the legislation is trying to come through to say that you should not be allowed to do this.
Right. Louisiana has some of the most restrictive laws on the books, and so for women seeking this health care service, it's very difficult.
It's worse than Texas here, even?
It's worse than Texas. There are only three
clinics
in the entire state. And
is that right? Where are they?
New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Shreveport.
Well, that's pretty much where everybody lives, I suppose. Not that. I mean, you wouldn't expect there to be at an abortion clinic in Boutique or something, would you? Which is where Kitty
there should be abortion clinics in Boutique.
Do you really?
And Hammond.
Would you really?
And Alexandria.
Well, that's a good point. Those places are where people live. Yeah.
Lafayette.
Yeah, Lafayette. Good point. Okay. And why aren't there clinics in those places? There's nothing stopping someone opening an abortion clinic, is there?
Well, actually, it's very difficult actually to open an abortion clinic. And because of state regulations and licensing and these sorts of things.
What do you have to have? Do you have to be attached to a hospital or something?
No. It's a freestanding clinic. That's where most people are seen for abortion care. As I said, there are just 3 clinics. Private practice physicians are able to provide abortion care, however, they're limited in the number that they can do.
Okay, so why is it so difficult to open one? What do I need to do if I'm going to open an abortion clinic?
Let's open one.
I can make some money here, right?
Yeah, let's open one, Grant.
Well, there seems to be a lot of opening, for want of a better word.
Absolutely.
Isn't there?
Absolutely.
So it
Licensing.
wouldn't cost very much to open one either. Because all you need to do is dispense pills, apparently, for the most part.
Well, there's just a lot of regulatory barriers to opening abortion
Yeah, but what
clinics.
are they, though? What do we need to do?
Tax ID.
Paperwork. I'm sure it's paperwork.
Paperwork.
Identifying physicians.
If we send you two guys down to the legislature or to the department, whatever it's called, what is it, the health department you get a license from?
Louisiana Department of Health.
Right. If you walk in there in your vagina outfit and we send Kitty in there in a daytime drag outfit, who's going to say no to that?
Lots of people, Grant.
Do you think? I think we'd be asking for a lawsuit.
The vast
turning you guys away.
majority.
But seriously, for 1 second,
Legislators
seriously,
for certain.
what is the holdup? Why wouldn't people open an abortion clinic? What are the legal requirements?
Well, that is a very lengthy answer.
We've got plenty of time. You haven't hardly drunk anything. I mean, what is the impediment? I'm absolutely serious for 1 second. What is the biggest legal impediment to opening an abortion clinic?
Well,
today?
It's mostly licensing from the state. It's identifying physicians who are willing to do it. It's also finding a building in which the provider can lease. Oftentimes,
So people
landlords
don't
don't want to lease a building to a provider.
Because they don't want people standing outside with
picket
signs.
Yeah.
Exactly, with protesters out in front, picketing, and causing all sorts of commotion.
Didn't they have
as well.
one on St. Charles up there by like the Della Chase? Wasn't that one?
Yes,
They
they
did.
And they
yes.
used to picket out there
Every
All
day,
the-
those
all
guys
the
were.
time.
did. No, it was.
All the
And
time.
can you legally shoot those people? Or not? Because in Louisiana, you can shoot a lot of people.
You have to drag them inside first.
You know? But don't they have to stand so many feet away from the door, the opening of a vagina, the opening of an abortion? You can see why I thought that. Don't you have to stand so many feet away if you're a protester? I mean, all these things.
They're not permitted onto the property, so they are allowed, and they're not permitted to block the sidewalk, but they are permitted to, walk along the sidewalk, to have their signs.
Okay,
to
so
Damn you, neutral grounds.
to post
Damn
up.
you.
So the political and the social aspects of what stops people more than anything, other than the licensing, which I'm sure you could get around if you're determined enough. I mean, it's bad enough to get a license to dispense alcohol or anything. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can get around all
It's probably a
these things.
pay-to-play situation. Who's willing to put the money up for it, right?
Right.
I think more than anything, the barrier to ensuring access for people seeking abortion care is the shame and stigma that's associated with it. And so that's much of the work that we do. Thus, the reason I'm in a vulva costume is to sort of bring attention to
I get it now.
and be supportive of women in all sorts of ways. Because there's a lot of stigma and shame around abortion care. There's a lot of stigma and shame around vaginas.
It doesn't have to be
Really?
discussed in a dark corner.
Jay, do you think there's a lot of stigma around vaginas? I'm not sure about that.
I would agree that there's stigma around vaginas.
Really?
Yes.
What do you think that means exactly?
Well, even when you say vagina, there are people who cringe when in fact it is called a vagina.
Yeah.
So I think that speaks to a level of discomfort that is just prevalent.
I mean, all you have to do is go to a grocery store, walk down the feminine products aisle, and look at all the products that are there to,
Assist
clean
women?
vaginas, make them smell nice.
But that's the American capitalist system at work. I mean, people will sell you anything.
Vaginas are lovely just the way they are, how they are.
Right.
Oh,
But-
we don't have penis cleaning items we buy.
That's true, but I bet someone could come up with that, though.
I don't know.
Now we
Right.
have a business plan.
Yeah, you saw that? We're totally missing a whole market.
Well, where did the concept that the vagina is unhealthy or smells bad come from?
Summer. I'm sorry.
That probably goes way, 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 way back, So, but certainly the amount of products out there on the market just enforce those sorts of views.
Do people spend a lot of time thinking about their vaginas, women?
I know guys think a lot about their penis.
Do they? I think guys think about vagina more than they think about penis.
I can't
What do
speak
you
to
think,
that.
Jay?
Probably so.
I'd say that's a pretty small sample, but I think we're right about I never knew that vagina was a bad thing, really.
I don't think it is.
No, I don't think most people do either, though. I mean, I could see
My grandma would probably turn off the station at
at this point.
3 minutes, 10 minutes ago.
Perhaps.
No,
I think more
but-
people are interested in or comfortable talking with about penises.
Are they?
Actually,
Really?
Yes, this
Whoever
is
talks
a
about penis?
male-centered society. We are living in a patriarchy.
Yes, but guys don't go around talking about penises, do they, Jay?
Oh, sure they do. Have you ever
no.
been in the
Kevin.
locker room?
What? No,
I'd have to
I
agree
have
that
not
they
been
do.
in a locker room.
They definitely
Really?
talk about it, yeah.
Well, and
Directly
guys,
or
and
indirectly.
guys can adjust themselves in public, and yeah, you might get a glance, but you can do that. You don't see girls adjusting themselves in public. Do girls adjust themselves in public? Do girls have to adjust? I'm sorry. I'm not an authority on this.
You're more of an authority on this than we are, though. Surely.
No.
No?
It's all an illusion.
Well, that's true.
I'm sure there are. Yes. Sometimes.
You don't see women shoving their hand down their pants that often in public, unfortunately.
I bet they could get away with it.
But they
I think it would be encouraged, actually.
it'd be encouraged.
Don't you think? If women started shoving their hand down their own pants.
But I am
Well-
interested in this idea or further discussion around men's ideas about vaginas, not just as sexual objects, but as women.
Well, I don't think men are interested in anything other than sexual objects, frankly.
But the
you know what I
fact
mean?
that you
The
consider a
vagina.
woman a sexual object, that's the problem?
Yes.
All right.
Under what context would a guy be thinking about a woman's vagina other than to have sex with it, unless it was someone you
That's
related to?
where their
and
child
they're-
comes
and
from.
And they have a health problem.
No, I'm suggesting that women are more than just their vaginas.
Well, yes, but I'm saying if,
That's
of course,
suggesting that.
but if
Maybe they're just boobs or ass, but we are
Well, that's good too,
thinking,
but if we-
thinking, feeling.
Oh, I see what you're trying to
I
say.
would like to learn more about vaginas. It's very mysterious.
It's very mysterious. Oh, tell me more.
What does it do? What is it really? What are its parts? These are the questions that need answering.
Are those the most important questions?
They're not the most important.
I want to know how your day is.
My day in a vagina costume, or
That's a good question too.
Just another Wednesday in New Orleans.
I think both of you people are super brave to walk around. A,
Really? I
yes,
don't
dressed
know.
in daytime drag, and B, dressed as a vagina.
I think dressing
Don't
up
you
as a
think, Jay?
vagina is a
Seriously.
big step up in day drag. But that's just
Step
my opinion.
up.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
this takes much more courage than just throwing on a wig and lipstick.
oh,
Does it?
well, let me tell
Yeah,
you.
they're both pretty equal, myself.
I don't know.
I'd be curious, Kitty, about the reactions that you get. But I know that when I have been in my vulva costume, I've had a range of experiences, and people's reactions
is it
to it has been
negative?
very different. No, very positive. In fact, they want to hug me.
Well, people want to take photos with me. That's the big.
Do they really? I saw that already today. Someone wanted to take a photo in here.
It's that's the thing. Like it's nothing. I've only been in female impersonation for 2 years.
Okay.
2 years and a couple months. I just started doing this. For me, yeah, it's an expression. Yeah, it's art form. I just like the attention. I need a lot of attention, I guess.
That's what you're doing it for. So,
It is, yes.
Well, you could do it a lot easier by just getting a vagina costume on the internet and
There's
put
only
that
$100.
on.
I don't know what you spent on the jewelry and the makeup and the dress, but
It's all a part of that.
Where do
know?
you? Well, let's go back to the beginning. What made you want to put on women's clothing in the first place?
Well, the reason why I started cross-dressing is as a New Orleanian, I got involved in the gay Mardi Gras clubs down here. And there are gay Mardi Gras clubs. Traditionally, the straight crews that honor their king at their ball every year were not accepting to homosexuals. It was actually illegal to cross-dress in New Orleans until like it was on the books into the 80s.
Really?
That you were not allowed to wear female clothing unless it was Halloween or for Mardi Gras. So the gays, the club that I am the Crew I'm actually Queen Petronius 55. I was honored
I see
as
you
my
have
club.
a thing here
I
that
went
says
to
We're
I
the-
went to the ball. Wow, this year.
Oh, wasn't it fabulous?
great.
It was so great. Well,
Not in a vagina costume.
But the thing,
in a gown.
The thing that it's really great is that we satiricalize what straight crews are doing rather than being honoring the king. The highest honor you can receive in a gay Mardi Gras club, which for a lot of people, this is our social life. This is, I like to go out, I like to get cocktails, I like to raise money, and I like to sleep easy at night. And the Mardi Gras Club provides that for me. We are able to honor members of the community. Instead of making them king, we honor them as queen. So there are people that are, there are showgirls. RuPaul's Drag Queen, if you're familiar with that, has brought drag mainstream.
The shows were fabulous.
Varla Jean Merman is a local New Orleans celebrity. She did a lot of legwork for the community. As a gay man, drag queens were the baddest bitches of us all because, like you're saying, they could go out in public in a full wig and dress and be like, oh, no, honey, check it. So that's why I started doing drag, was because, it was for the Carnival Club.
So you just did it for fun, to raise money?
To raise money, yeah.
Not for yourself, not because you wanted to express yourself as a person.
Because historically, it would have been in really bad taste to come out as a male.
To come out as a male? What do you mean?
For the ball. I was named queen of the Carnival Club.
Oh, I see. So you had to.
I had to come out as a drag queen.
Right.
So
that was the first time.
That's when I learned to do drag. So we do our fundraisers and.
So what was it like? Go back to the minute you did it. The first minute when you put on women's clothing in your house, I guess, was it?
It's horrible. I have some girlfriends or boyfriends that they love the makeup aspect of it.
This is actual women you're talking about.
No, these are biological men. We all, I'm Kitty and there's LeBeau and Blazin and Fatsy and we all Fatsy Klein. Oh, she's a diva. Yeah, no, it's a big diva fest, right? But it's
these are all gay men. There's no
school
straight
teacher, nurses.
They're not straight men though. Only gay men do this.
Grant, you need to go to the ball next year.
The Crew Petronius
is...
there's different clubs. The Crew Petronius is very inclusive. We have lesbians, we have transgender, we have straight people. The youngest member is 19. The oldest member is in that over 70s club.
Okay.
It's a really diverse group, between white, African American, Hispanic. It's a really diverse group of people. But we just all really love the Mardi Gras. To come out there, people ask it's crazy because you spend a lot of money to throw a big party. People from out of town, they come talk about, who puts on Mardi Gras? Does the city of New Orleans put on Mardi Gras? Does Budweiser sponsor Mardi Gras? No, it's people who live in New Orleans that want to throw these lavish events and fabulous parties.
Right.
And
Mardi Gras is a great excuse to dress up. For everybody, not just people who dress as a woman. Everyone who gets dressed up in a costume, it's a great sense of release, really.
It is.
You can be anyone you like for a day.
It's an expression of your inner self.
Yeah.
It is.
So that how you feel right now? You feel like you do on Mardi Gras Day when you don't give a shit about anything and you...
Well, this is day drag, so...
But does it feel like that? Does it have that?
I want to know what night drag is about.
It's there's more jewelry. It's painted on a little heavier.
More jewelry than
the
this.
hair's bigger. Well, yeah, no, there's chandeliers involved.
Okay.
And I don't even have body on right now, but there's body involved. And
body.
Are y'all familiar with the Bourbon Street Awards?
Yes.
So everyone that won this year were in gay Mardi Gras clubs.
Okay.
The drag queen that won, Fatsy Klein, won.
Fatsy Klein was Miss
She won.
Mardi Gras. Okay.
She won this year. We helped make that costume.
But these are people who get really elaborate costumes. They look like Mardi Gras Indians, actually, with the feathers and the gigantic.
And that's what it's. The gays don't have that exclusive. New Orleanians have that.
Yeah.
The Mardi Gras
but
Indians.
Everyone who's the Indians are a separate thing. But the people who are dressing up for the gay parade, which is what I call, is that what it's called?
The Bourbon Street Awards?
Yeah, the Bourbon Street Awards.
No, everyone's welcome
guys.
to enter in that. It just happens that the gays, they can't help themselves.
What is it about gay men, or some gay men, that want to dress up as women? Of all things, because these are men who are attracted to other men.
Yeah,
so
that's...
why?
Yeah,
what is it in you that makes you then want to be a woman?
Oh, because how fabulous is this, though?
Well, you look fabulous and you are fabulous.
Well, that's the thing. Well, I remember going to the clubs and stuff, and as fun as going to the bar and having a few drinks and listening to music, when a queen shows up and starts death dropping and cartwheeling and throwing shade, that's just more fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just who doesn't want to be a part of that? And that's why I was going back to mainstream drag. It's made it okay. It's made it okay to come out there and, sashay away and all this silly nonsense. But, I mean, it's just, how deliciously gay is that?
Well, I guess kind of what you're saying then is it's like Jay's job. It's like the difference between watching a band and being in a band. Like you're the entertainer.
Facilitate the party.
Yeah, you could. I was going to go a different direction.
What were you going to say?
Go on.
I mean, I was going to say that it does look fun, I guess, and I respect the courage of both the vagina costume and day drag. I just I like to be funky, but at the end of the day, I just have to be black, and that takes courage.
Yes.
Well said.
Yeah,
I take that with me everywhere.
Well played.
You can't run away from that.
Can't run away. I wouldn't want to, but I can't.
You can't put on a costume that changes everyone's opinion of you.
Well, I can go from funky to super funky. But, those are my options.
Do you describe the music as super funky?
I describe it as future funky.
Future funky. All right. Well, we need to take a little stop here for a second and listen to some music.
Yes.
So you guys can hear what we're talking about. Because
Absolutely.
this band is really something else.
Can I have another vodka?
You can have as many vodkas as you want, Kitty. Yes, Graham will hook you up.
Day vodkas.
Day vodkas. Oh.
You like that?
Coined.
Can we hook Kitty up with another drink? Kitty's like a real alcoholic. She just
I'm a
drinks.
bartender by trade. Just get it right. Absolute on ice.
You can always tell who the real drinkers are, don't you think, Amy? Because they drink, like Kitty drinks, just orders, I just want vodka on the rocks. That's not even a drink. It's just alcohol.
Yes.
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 But you're a bartender, so,
And
that's...
I'm from New Orleans.
Right. So,
It's drinking is a social experience down here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Where
I
do you-
wouldn't be drinking vodka on ice if I wasn't doing the talk show.
What would you be doing? Sitting at home?
Like Bailey's and coffee.
Bailey's and
No,
coffee.
I'm just playing. No. I'd be working if
Right.
I wasn't here.
So you go to work as a guy, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is.
Do you live to dress as a woman? I mean,
no,
is that what you?
I
it's all about?
It's a labor of love.
Oh, really?
No, and it's good.
It must be the best part of the day. Though.
Well, no, and honestly, I was saying earlier, I'm a career bartender. I didn't graduate from college. I don't have any real skill, but some of my girlfriends, we can go and do a drag show and raise $1,500 for charity. We're also involved with No AIDS Task Force. We have our annual Art Against AIDS Gala every year in December. We raised $50,000 this year.
That's amazing.
And, for people, in terminal care, it's food for friends. It brings,
Is this Lazarus, the Lazarus organization? Or is that
No,
a different one?
Crescent Care. We're all affiliated together, but same idea, though. We're out there providing services for people in the community that can't afford it for themselves. And just because of the nature of things, have been neglected.
So that's pretty much what you're doing, Amy.
Well, I want to say that I want to shout out, that fundraising is a skill and fundraising is a job. And so to raise $50,000 is an amazing accomplishment.
This is what you're doing. You're raising money to give away, basically.
Yes, we're raising money.
And sometimes you have to dress up to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you know,
There you go.
to bring attention and awareness.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's just part of it.
You look cute with your hair sticking out on this thing now.
Someone said I needed a Brazilian.
I think European wax.
Yeah, we can always go across the street. I think it looks kind of cute,
like
don't
that?
you think, Jay? It's got a sort of cute look with your hair sticking out there.
Well, thanks. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Do any guys
I
wear a
feel
vagina?
a little
costume?
underdressed here, actually.
Well, how do you
Bit of a
think we feel?
draft.
Yeah.
It's a little draft.
Jay, you look cool. Jay's got a cool outfit on with a
Yes, he
scarf
does.
and
Why, thank you.
a leather. Is that a bag you have there?
This is a bag. This is a man bag.
What's in it?
Magic man stuff.
What do you walk around with in there?
I got all kinds of stuff.
I know. I wish I had a bag. It's a much better idea. I don't know why guys don't have bags.
Well, I'm
They
glad
do.
I had
There's so
it.
much
Guys have
crap in my
bags,
pockets.
thank you.
It came in handy last night.
What was happening?
There was a broken key on the organ, and I lacerated my finger wide open, and I'm bleeding out on the organ, just like my professor predicted I would. And so I
It
go.
sounds so medical.
It's like a field kit. So I go over to the piano and I patch myself up and I finish the show, all because I had my man bag.
Just as well. Otherwise, you would have been what? Retired hurt.
I don't know, maybe getting dizzy and laying on the low F. And
Bleeding out. Where were
Yeah.
you playing last night?
we were playing at Blue Nile
All right.
Tuesday.
So-
Tuesday nights. That's right.
Oh, that was. Oh, yeah.
Today's
what
Wednesday.
day it is. Hey, so let's take a listen to what are we going to listen to then, Jay? Tell
I
us
think we're
something
going to
about
listen
the song.
to a
Put
song
us on
called
us.
Open Sesame.
Okay. Did you write this?
I was one of the writers.
Are you singing this?
My voice might be on there somewhere.
All right.
But,
and you're playing piano on this?
Yeah, I'm playing piano and some synthesizer stuff. But the singing you're going to hear is Berkeley. He delivered the vocals on this particular song.
Okay. Berkeley the artist.
Berkeley the artist, that's right.
And this is your band. You founded this band, Waterseed. You're the co-founder of this band.
I am one of the founders of the
you've
band,
been doing this,
with Lou Hill.
With Lou Hill. You've been playing this music for a long time.
A long time, yes.
Let's take a listen to it. Open Sesame.
Yes, Lance.
When the sun sets on the ceiling, and the night is calling on you, the moon is rising, offering a new sacrifices the way that you want it. Hurry up, you in it. Show them that tonight is the night. Hurry up, ooh, hurry up, ooh. Let 'em know tonight is the night. Don't you be afraid to be all the things you want to be. Close your eyes and count to 3. Open sesame, baby, don't you be surprised when you finally realize the magic word reveals the world. Open sesame. Fame and fortune, Hollywood tonight, campaign to the morning lights. The wish was skip that, love the veil was tight. Just let the music take you tonight. You want it, hurry up, you in it. Show 'em that tonight is your night, yeah. Hurry up, ooh, hurry up, ooh. Just let 'em know tonight is your night. Don't you be afraid to be all the things you want to be. Close your eyes and count to 3. Open sesame, baby, don't you be surprised when you finally realize the magic word reveals the pride. Open sesame. Water the sea, believe in gold, open sesame.
It's not done yet.
All right, that's
Yes.
great.
Oh, that was so good.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
What did you think, ladies? Were you
Super
expecting
funky.
that?
Super funky.
Groovy.
But isn't that
That's like
slick?
put your hands up over your head kind of, jam session. I
Shake
like
it,
that.
shake the booty.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound like real musicians?
Real music?
Real musicians, actual guys who really know and women know how to play, and not just sort of jamming away, but
Are
actual.
you like classically trained?
I do have classical training.
Yeah, I mean, it shows. Like that was
Well,
that
thank
was
you.
hot. No, that was
I
hot.
appreciate
Yeah, that was
that.
real good.
And I'm wondering, who are some of your idols or
Yeah,
local
inspiration,
bands?
yeah.
Inspirations or local bands that influenced you.
Well, as far as local bands, we like the Meters
Of
Yeah.
course, yes.
and Chocolate Milk and Louisiana Purchase, and I mean, the local bands of the
That shaped all of
60s
us.
and 70s, and I mean as far back as the 50s. I love Fats Domino.
Yeah. Well, he invented rock and roll.
Yeah. So the New Orleans bands we're supposed to like, we like them. And the influences that maybe might have had the global stage in a grander way would be like Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know.
But it sounds as good as all that stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. It doesn't sound like it's some sort of copy.
Well, thank
No,
you.
that was
Doesn't
like
it sounds like you
that was
could-
amazing
yeah.
original music.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's really amazing.
I appreciate that.
Hey, what sort of classical training did you have? You were classical, like piano?
Yeah,
Student?
I was classical until one fateful day. I was listening to some 70s radio, and because the record player was busted, and I put on the radio instead, and it just blew my mind. It had to be the funk ever since. But
What did you hear? Can you remember what it was?
I know exactly what it was.
What was it?
It was Barry White, Ecstasy. And that super long intro. By the time the beat dropped and the vocals came in, I was like, okay, Beethoven, I'm going to take a little break now.
Wow.
I mean, if you had the choice between Beethoven and Barry White, who wouldn't go with Barry White?
It was a bit of a tough choice. That's why I said I had to take a break. You know, it is a first love, but I just felt called to the funk.
Where were you studying classical music? Here in New Orleans?
Yeah, here in New Orleans, I had various teachers, and
Are you from down here?
yeah, I'm from New Orleans.
Were you at
Where'd you go to
Noka?
high school?
I did
was
go
going
to
to ask
Noka.
about
Yeah,
Noka. Yeah,
I went to Noka. Yeah. Various instructors, but it's a New Orleans education. Fortunate enough to be under the tutelage of a lot of really great mentors, and sometimes just people I could get 2 or 3 sessions with, but they would give me so much in those sessions. And beyond that, just me locked in a rehearsal space, wanting badly to get it right and not coming out until I made something out of it.
was
So
perfect.
there's a lot of due diligence that's just very personal.
Were you ever in like high school band? Did you ever like march in the parade playing music?
You know, I didn't get to march because I played piano, but
Yeah.
whenever I could maybe write out a little chart or something like that, I tried to play saxophone for a while. My buddy was better at it, and I just pretended to play. So I almost got to march a little bit, but I was exposed for not playing.
Brassing it. Yeah.
So
Hey, what's it like being in a working band like this? Is it what you thought it was going to be like when you set out to do it?
I don't really know what I thought it was going to be like. I just knew I wanted to do it, and it's great because it's work. It's a lot of work. Maybe more work than a traditional 9 to 5, but being able to steer the ship yourself does a little something for you. That I can have an idea and call up my mates with an idea, and then that idea becomes a song that you play on this show and that we can share with the world and you can enjoy as well. And that just started as something that was in my head one night or in one of my fellow songwriters' heads, and then it becomes real. It's amazing. So
Yeah.
touring that and sharing it with other people and seeing their reaction and giving them that positive message, because we lean towards a positive. That's amazing.
So when you're playing the stuff that you take so seriously and you love to play it and you're playing it, where is it, Blue Nile?
Sometimes, yeah.
Is anyone listening, or are they just drinking and talking? And does that piss you off?
I think, I wasn't sure if anyone would listen, but
know the
I think they
struggle.
do listen. I think they do listen because there are people who, I'll never forget a performance we did in Atlanta, and someone approached me afterwards to tell me that they were still emotionally high. They hadn't come down from the performance, that it touched them, and that they felt like they were changed forever.
Wow.
And I've heard
Wait.
those types of reports
Oh, my
before.
God, that had to be satisfying.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
That would keep you going for a long time to think
And
that
it
you've done
does.
that to somebody.
it does.
Yeah. But I mean, we go to hear music, and people from New Orleans generally go out to hear music. And
Yeah,
you're-
listen to music,
You
yeah.
go to somewhere like Tips or House of Blues or somewhere, or Blue Nile, and now
Frenchman
Frenchman
Street,
Street has
just the
been taken
whole-
over. These people from out of town, they're not even listening at all. They're just drinking and talking like they've got, like you've got Spotify on at home.
That's true, but I don't allow that.
You don't.
It's an
You
interactive.
demand the attention. If
I-
you're good, they pay attention.
it's interactive.
Yes.
So I convinced them that I want them there, and that they're here for a reason. They could have been anywhere
an
else,
experience.
but this is where they found themselves.
So you're addressing people directly.
Directly,
So
yes,
you make
very
them
direct.
shut up and listen to you.
Well, I say it a little nicer, but
Well,
I get them to do
It's
it.
it's a testament to your talent. If you're good, people will pay attention.
Absolutely. I was
Yes.
in
Fact.
I was in Baton Rouge over the weekend for the Baton Rouge Blues Festival, and I was at the after party. There was a band playing, And then as soon as, and people weren't listening really, they were sort of mingling around. And then as soon as Kenny Neal took stage and got on that guitar,
People stopped and listened.
they were enthralled.
What
and,
made you-
and the energy in the room just changed.
Right.
I mean,
believe it. Yeah, I believe it.
he's been around and his family's been around forever in the Baton Rouge area.
What made you go to Baton Rouge for the Blues Festival? Just for the music, or you?
Yeah, I love blues music. And I
Baton
went.
Rouge is so mediocre, though.
Yes, and being near the Capitol gives me the cringes, but I do like the blues, and Baton Rouge has such a great history and tradition of blues music.
Isn't that funny that it does? Do people at the Capitol know you?
Yes.
Oh, here's the abortion lady.
Yes.
Look at this walking vulva.
Well,
So,
I
you
don't
know-
wear my costume up there.
You know.
Oftentimes, no, I'm in a business suit.
So it's really quite a thing to give people money for medical procedures.
Yes.
You know, it's an incredible thing
it's
to do.
unconscionable in
What
that
made-
this
what-
procedure is not paid for through insurance.
I was like, why doesn't health insurance cover that?
They don't even cover birth control, do they?
In some cases, yes, they do, but you know, of the political nature of abortion care,
Okay.
and it's regulated state to state. But there is, you know, the Hyde Amendment, particularly, is a federal piece of legislation that prohibits federal funding for people who are on Medicaid, Medicare, Peace Corps members, anyone that's
The Peace Corps.
or receiving services through Indian services, or there's a long list of groups that are exempted from that. So, but in most states in Louisiana, no private insurance will cover any aspect of abortion care, including the blood work or the ultrasound. So,
We haven't talked at all about Planned Parenthood. Are you not affiliated with them at all?
no, but they're an ally, a coalition ally of ours.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, so we like them.
yeah, I like them.
So the Planned Parenthood clinics that exist, they don't all provide abortions, though.
No.
Obviously, if there's only
Birth
3
control,
clinics.
right?
So they offer, and I'm not a spokesperson for Planned Parenthood, but they do offer a spectrum of services. They do not offer abortion care here in New Orleans.
Right. So if you get something else wrong with you and you don't have a lot of money and you can't pay for it, like if you need cancer treatment or something, is there a similar place to go, like the abortion fund? Is there a lymphoma fund?
That's a good question. I'm sure there are
finally.
all sorts of organizations who are raising money for healthcare services.
Are there, though?
No, actually, yeah. Like, so I'm a fundraiser for No AIDS Task Force. We've actually at the point now that we're actually being able to provide care for cancer people now. We actually provide services for non-homosexual people in the community too. It's starting to become more of a socioeconomic issue. That's the big thing that we're talking about. Like wealthy, straight women that want abortions, they can get abortions.
Yeah, they can go to California and New York.
Do you know what I mean? It's the idea, in my opinion, it becomes a socioeconomic issue.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's why, like, we have to raise money for people that just can't afford it. And for most people, it's just basic right. Like,
Healthcare is a human right.
You would
And
think if the government did anything, it would provide health care.
well, just keep in mind that it
Apparently
was
not.
only last year in the election of Governor John Bell Edwards that Medicaid was expanded, and over 400,000 people that were in that gap now have insurance. But you know, with the repeal of the ACA on the federal level, that those people are now, and anyone, you know, a lot of people are at risk of losing their health care insurance if the ACA is repealed.
yeah, well, that's well,
are we going to go there?
Well, that's what you're doing. That's your life's work, right? This is a real job,
Yes, this is a full-time job.
right?
Not in a vulva costume,
No,
but
you.
Lies
This
and
is-
garbage.
What
we
attracts-
talk about. I mean, so you know, we talk about all kinds of issues as it relates to this issue. One of the things that's been a disservice to this movement is that abortion care has been siloed off from so many other issues like equal pay, raising the minimum wage,
Because it sounds like you're
education,
pro-women.
ensuring that there's quality schools, that the streets are safe for children, that there's childcare, that
But
there's.
you can't do all this.
But we can talk about it. I
Right.
think that that's what's missing is the
And
conversation
awareness.
and an awareness and
The
education.
first step is awareness.
Absolutely. And, you know, to Jay's point, many of these restrictions and policies that are in place across the country and in this state particularly impact people of color, immigrant communities. And so...
well, the people who are the least powerful usually have the least money, at least in the United States. And
But
it
in
gives
New
you
Orleans,
less
that's
access to everything.
But in New Orleans, that's a large part of the population.
Yeah, right.
Like, we've experienced a boom. What's 2017? In the last
Correct.
4 or 5 years, there's been this influx of people. So now there's all these big programs that help people. The majority of the city is below the national average of income.
Louisiana is one of the most impoverished states in the country.
That's when, we have this big bubble. The CBD is finally full again with people that can afford to live there. Mm-hmm. So now let's talk about that. No, I'm a career bartender. There were people that have lived in New Orleans before the storm, right after the storm. We helped rebuild it. They're being pushed out of the city because we can't afford to live here anymore.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
The majority of the city is like that, though.
There's underemployment, and too many of the jobs in New Orleans especially are service industry jobs where they're making, $7.25 an hour, which is not a living wage, which is why we're also talking about raising the minimum wage and working with Fight for 15 movements and others that are talking about economic justice.
And this goes right into the musician aspect.
Yes.
Musicians who wake up after a night of work, that go back to the bar to go play music to make money. I've had musician friends. They aren't, until you get that big record deal, they're not living the most glamorous lifestyle.
And they don't have insurance.
I'm not trying to read you, Jay, but I'm just saying it's
all
that.
good.
No, you know what I'm saying, though. It's like, if you want the musicians to be able to afford to live in town and just roll down the street, oh, hey, come on, Frenchman Street, I'm going to come play music for the night, they need to be able to afford to live down here to do that. Mm-hmm. Do they need to be able to afford to come from New Orleans education system, learn these basic musical skills, and then they just get together because their friends grew up in this lifestyle where, we played for the parades, we played for the festivals, and now we're playing gigs on Frenchman Street. It's not like we have this huge... We're not L.A. where people are coming here with their casting cards. That's the beauty of New Orleans, though, is that it's really organic. And the beauty is coming from a lower socioeconomic status. So if you start pushing all these people outside the city, you're not going to have all this.
Right, that's what people like.
You turn New Orleans, the French Quarter, into a Disney World-like atmosphere. But it's not going to have any culture.
But all this is actually happening. What you're describing of
right.
what you're scared of happening is actually happening.
No.
It really is happening. People are being forced out. People who, the local musicians who are playing at Jazz Fest, for example, couldn't even afford to get into Jazz Fest usually. And people who are playing on Bourbon Street and playing on Frenchman Street couldn't even afford a night out on Bourbon Street and Frenchman Street on the money they're making at these places. And that's really happening. And people who are waiting in restaurants and working in bars like you are can't afford the rent now to live in places
the
like this.
recession happened, when the oil spill happened, when Katrina happened, it was the working class people that rebuilt the city. Right. That's why it's so cool down here right now, y'all. It's a bunch of like-minded people that just found their groove down here.
New Orleans has completely changed. It used to be a place that you were either born here and you lived here and you were raised here and that's why you loved it, or you discovered it and you moved here despite the fact there was nothing to do. And you couldn't get a job here and there was absolutely no hope.
Sitting on your front porch was everything.
Yeah, but you just loved the city. And now it's changed. Now people are coming here as a destination for their advancement, for a job, to make money.
People need to be able to make a living. And be able to support families. I'm interested in, I was recently asked about musicians and insurance, and I actually didn't know how to answer them. Do you have health care insurance? How do you...
Because you work for yourself, so you don't have a company that...
It's funny you would mention it. It's not something I'm quite ready to speak on, but it's something that I'm taking on personally, that I'm hoping to lead the charge on that kind of thing. There are people who have had some initiatives.
Would a musicians union be like? I know that sounds like a very broad thing to say.
Yeah,
but a very anti-Southern thing to say too when I bring unions into it.
Well, there is a musicians union.
There is a musicians union, and there are other initiatives that have been designed to help. It's just that they're not perfect options, and
that's fair. We are in New Orleans.
Well, some of us are on the inside of the conversation about what's imperfect about those options. And I just want to be able to foster an environment where, with confidence, an artist can be a viable, productive citizen who is not only earning but contributing and not just scratching to survive, because art is a major pillar of society, and we all have to collectively undergird that effort.
And art is deterred when you put, you know what I mean? Like, art becomes deterred when you start to put, like, that weird stress on it. As an artist, if you have to sit there and say, hey, I need to go play music, hey, I'm going to go do drag, hey, I'm going to go do X, Y, or Z as a performing artist, as a creative individual, which famous literary people we can just start babbling about have credited New Orleans for. If that becomes deterred based on if you can afford to do it or not, that deters creative energy, right? That's like what the French Quarter, yes, this famous world-renowned destination. Yo, it's a neighborhood with a library and an elementary school because people live there. That's the beauty of it.
But all these social forces are changing, and what you're talking about, Jay, is doing something about it.
Yes.
See, that's the question: is what do you do in the face of all this change?
Well,
what do you think?
That's something I would love to come back and talk about later. I'm developing, and I didn't know I was going to mention this, but I'm developing what I call the Gentleman Sharp Foundation, which is designed to address exactly these kinds of things.
Excellent.
Wow.
That's what the J is for. It's for gentlemen.
That is great.
Oh, look at us.
How interesting. And when do you think you might have something you can talk about?
After the summer?
When my attorney advises that it's time to speak about it.
Okay.
I just don't want to say too much too soon, but you're definitely speaking my language here.
Both these ladies are professional fundraisers.
All right. Well, I'm making friends today.
You might be able to get some pointers here as to actually how to go about that. How interesting. Well, that's going to be cool to find out more about that.
But that's
I stumbled onto it.
But that's like the backbone of New. Like, people wouldn't come down here, and yeah, we're a cruise port, but people come down here 3 days before their cruise to hang out in the city. They pre-vacation, they post-vacation. We have festivals all year long. We're a destination for conventions, major sporting events. Besides that, the new Tulane Medical District, they brought 20,000 young jobs into the city. The city is doing their best to try and diversify, job aspects in town. But at the end of the day, what makes the city so special? I'm sitting in a room with New Orleanians right now. This is so refreshing.
I think it goes to the priorities. I think it goes to the priorities of our society, and each of us have touched upon, our wish and our desires for the priorities to change, so that people in our community, our families, our friends, can be and live the most authentic lives that they hope for and want. And in some cases, that's having starting a foundation as a musician so that you have insurance.
That's so cool.
It's funding healthcare and ensuring that women have options, all the options available to them. And in your case, Kitty, it's being authentic in your creativity and personality and supporting all sorts of gender identities, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Well put.
Yeah. Well, here.
Yeah. So we have to get out
Spoken
of
from
here.
the vulva.
We've got to get out of here, vulva, and make way for paying
It's
customers.
already over?
But we got to, let them seat people here so they can eat dinner.
Aw, this was so much fun.
I know. But tell us before we go, Amy, you have like a fundraiser that you wanted to mention.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I knew this was going to happen. We would never get to it. But let's get to it. What is it?
Yes, so the New Orleans Abortion Fund, each year we have our largest fundraiser is called the Game-a-thon. It's patterned after Bowl-a-thon, but of course our local bowling alley wouldn't support that effort. So we're at Shamrock on Sunday, April 23rd from 4 to 6:30 p.m.
Hang on, slow down, wait up. Shamrock is what? A bar somewhere or other?
Shamrock is
It's a bar bowling alley.
It's a bar bowling alley.
Ironically, it's the old bowling alley, but now they offer pool, darts.
Oh, we don't say their name.
Ping pong.
Caught that.
Hang on a second. Oh, it's where the old bowling alley used to be
Yes.
on Carrollton Avenue.
It's still
At
I didn't
Carrollton
even know
and-
that was still going.
At Carrollton, New Orleans, it's called Shamrock
There's
now.
like awesome
Shamrock.
arcade games there too.
Arcade, yes.
Yeah.
okay.
And so
Oh, that's interesting.
you
Okay.
can come out on Sunday, April 23rd from 4 to 6:30 and make a contribution of $30 and join a team and play all kinds of games. Or you can go online and make a contribution if you're not able to be there on Sunday. It's bold.nnaf.org/NOAF.
Oh, no one's going to remember that. We'll put a link to it. I'll ask them to put a link
Perfect.
to it on our page, on
Thank
the
you
Happy
so
Hour
much.
page on It's New
Last
Orleans. Can
year-
you tell me what that is before we leave here so I
Yes.
know?
Last
Okay.
year we raised $17,000
Ooh, cute girl.
here all locally. With donations of $50 and $100. I mean, very small donations.
Wow.
This year our goal is $20,000, and we're very close. So I really would appreciate people's
Okay, so
support.
it's April
23rd, Sunday, April
2017.
23rd. Yep, at Shamrock.
Okay, cool. At Shamrock on Carrollton Avenue, which is the old bowling alley.
Yes.
Before it moved further down Carrollton Avenue. Okay, cool. All right. Kitty, do you have anything to wrap up with? Anything we need to know about? Where can people meet you? What bar are you bartending at?
You can meet Kitty
Yes.
at the world famous Bourbon Pub, the Oz New Orleans, Buffa's on Esplanade, the MSL Lounge down in
Just
Houma.
at random times if you happen to go there.
I do the circuit, but I would love everyone to join me on February 3rd, 2018 at the Pontchartrain Center out in Kenner for the Crew Petronius Ball Mass 57, where we celebrate drag-ons.
Drag-ons, okay.
It's going to be one of the
All right.
biggest events of the year.
I've chosen the very last 30 seconds of the show to look at my research here that Graham gave me, our producer gave me. It says that you own the Miss Gay Crescent City, Louisiana beauty pageant.
Yes,
So you're an entrepreneur as well.
Well, against my vulva friend over there, I help propagate beauty pageant systems.
But this
Yes.
is beauty pageants for drag queens.
Yes.
Is there a bathing suit, bikini option there? Do you have to wear a bathing?
I can introduce you to some gals if you'd like me to, Grant.
What is the
No,
beauty?
it's basically based off of an interview, a formal evening gown look, and then a talent. It's basically a talent-based competition.
God, this sounds like fun.
Symbol of integrity, yes, because girls bring their very best of the best. We're preliminary to a state and national pageant system. Our girl, Miss Mercedes L'Oreal, Miss Crescent City 2017. Hey, girl. She won a $1,000 cash prize, set of jewelry, makeup.
Girls rock.
At Cafe Istanbul this year.
Cafe Istanbul. Is it coming up or has it been?
We've already had it, and then
Okay.
I'm actually switching over to Entertainer of the Year system. Ooh, I haven't announced that yet, but
Entertainer of the Year. Remember you heard it here first. Entertainer of the Year.
Entertainer
drag
of,
queen.
of drag queens, yes.
Entertainer of the Year of drag queens. Wow. Okay. Where's that? Do we know anything about that? Can we say anything about that?
Not yet, but it's
Okay,
going to be
all
at a
right.
bigger venue because it's going to be kind of a big deal.
Wow. Entertainer of the Year drag queens. Okay. And where's Waterseed? Anyone who's just discovered Waterseed listening to this, I know you can get it on Spotify and
Well,
YouTube, but what about live? You have a new record coming out.
Yeah,
Tuesday
and
afternoon.
that's where the focus is. It's on iTunes and Amazon. Waterseed. The album is called We Are Stars, and by We Are Stars, we mean everyone. We are made of stardust, and we are returning to the roots of who we are as a collective. We are all one. We are all stars. Waterseed, We Are Stars is available on iTunes and Amazon. You can like us on Instagram and on Facebook. You can follow us on social media. You can go to waterseedmusic.com and join the email list. And we will periodically update you as to what we are doing and our whereabouts when we are coming to a funky city near you. Do all of that so you can be a
Yeah.
part
With
of the
his
Waterseed
sexy
family.
radio voice.
Yes.
That was so
Just
sexy.
keep talking. I could just listen to that all day.
right.
That is so.
Yeah.
You've got a great voice. Do you ever
Super
do?
slick,
do you ever do
honey.
radio?
I would love to do radio.
You've got to. I can't believe
That's,
you are not on
that's
the radio.
literally his goal.
We can make that happen for you. Jay Sharp, thank you so much for joining us. That was all the information there about Waterseed that you need. Hopefully you can follow them on Amazon and on iTunes.
That's where you can
Why
get the
are
album.
you not on Spotify with this new record?
Well, you know, Spotify does not get the artist paid, and we want to get paid.
Well,
we
there
want
is
you to
that.
have the music,
Here, here.
but we also want to stay in business.
Yeah, well, who would disagree with that? Jay, thanks for being here. I was dying to see what your face would look like when you walked in and saw
Well, here I am.
Daytime Drag. And
Meow.
Amy Irvin, thank you so much for coming down here.
Thank
The
you so much for having
New
me.
Orleans Abortion Fund, we'll have a link to that on our website. We can maybe talk people into going to the fundraiser at the Shamrock on April 23rd. Kitty Dilletta, thank you so much for being brave enough to come down here in Daytime
my
Drag.
pleasure, darling.
It's been great. What a great show. Thank you so much for that. It's been happy hour for another week. The producer of our show is Graham DePonte. Graham, you outdid yourself this week.
Cheers,
Christian
Graham.
Unruh is our music director, and Jean Valois is our music producer. Thomas Walsh is our technical director, and our live feed directors, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, are Asher Griffith and Grayson Jernigan. Our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can sit around our table here at Wayfair for about an hour and drink without falling off your chair, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com. We can also see other shows that we make here, including many other hours of happy hour, actually. There are years and years worth of happy hour if you'd like to go back into the archives, as well as Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti live from Commander's Palace, True to the Game with the hilarious Chris True, Midnight Menu Plus One with Margot Moss and the man who ate New Orleans, Ray Canada, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tooker, and many, many more as well. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well. And all of it, we're called It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our Facebook page. This is 1 week. If you don't know what everybody looks like here at this table, you need to go and do that. Those photos are taken by Alison
Jay's
Moon.
handsome.
Really? You guys are the best looking guests we've ever had, without a shadow of a doubt. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, thank you so much for subscribing to us. Take a moment, if you have nothing better to do, to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at Wayfair on Ferret Street, which is right across from the European Wax Centre and down from Napoleon Avenue a little bit, where they have a 3-hour happy hour here every day and a great brunch on the weekends. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, who is off making a record, but you can maybe find him somewhere around the country at andrewduhon.com. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here next week. I'm Grant Morris. We'll see you back here at Wayfair on Happy Hour.
Bye, Grant.
Bye, everybody.
Venus, your style guide for fun, sexy style, is getting you ready for shorter days and cooler weather during the annual Venus Fashion Week event. The new Venus Fall Fashion Collection has arrived, and it's a perfect time to get amazing deals on new styles that have made Venus famous, from weekdays at the office to weekends on the town. Shop hundreds of new fall styles and get $15 when you spend $100, $30 off when you spend $150, and $50 off when you spend $200 or more. Just go to Venus.com or download the Venus app and use the promo code SWEATER to save during the last days of Venus Fashion Week.